Hello there. I'd like to tell you a story if I can. Let's call the main character, let's call him Andy, because that's his name. So Andy was a very, very stereotypical middle child. If you think about the stereotypes that exist about middle children, then Andy was that person. Growing up in a five-person household with many other step and half brothers and sisters that lived with different parts of the extended family, Andy was very much stuck in the middle. People older than him had all sorts of things going on in their lives. People in the family that were younger than him had all those new experiences, and all these things took up the massive amount of capacity of his parents, which didn't leave a lot of time for him. That's not their fault, that's just the way things are sometimes, unfortunately. But the result of that meant that Andy was somebody who never felt important. So never really felt as though he was somebody who other people could, I don't want to say the word love, but wasn't necessarily important enough to be considered. Going through school, from primary school all the way through to secondary school, that meant that that low self-esteem within him meant that he found it very, very difficult to form close friendships. Now, he did have friends, but those close, long-lasting friendships that follow you for years and years and into adulthood and things like that. Joined the military, hoping that the culture and everything you hear about being in the military, there's a large family, hoping that would bring him in and feel included. Unfortunately, the reality was very much the same, because people are people. People have got their own priorities and their own stuff going on in their lives. So again, although he had friends, they weren't necessarily, never really had those many people that he could form those long-lasting friendships with. And all of these experiences over the life meant that Andy felt very lonely, felt very isolated. Anxiety was a big feature in his life. Mental health problems existed. And then when all these things have then a compound effect on individuals. Fast forward into 2018, when he finally decided to ask for the help and get the support that he needed. He learned an awful lot about what was actually going on in his mind, and rather than having like the blame and the tension that you can feel when these things are going on in your life, he started to understand how he could do things about it. The unfortunate thing is that time between 1980 and 2018, 38 years of his life where he felt alone, he felt miserable, didn't feel as though he was included. The good news, though, is there are these days organisations that are designed to help people exactly like Andy. Glint is a classic example of that. Glint use horses to help people understand what's going on emotionally within them that is changing the way that they project themselves into the world and how it affects them with their relationships with other people. Now, had Andy known about that and had access to that kind of support, then life could have been very, very, very different. So this is why I'm really, really passionate about the Lunch and Learn event that I'm hosting on the 11th of October of this year at The Botanist. It's designed to raise money for Glint, so they've got funds available to raise awareness of the support that they can offer people like Andy, so they can maintain the welfare of the horses, and they can provide the really, really valuable services that they offer to other people. The Lunch and Learn, there's going to be two fantastic speakers, even if I do say so myself, because I'm one of them. I'll be teaching people about unconscious biases and how we can very, very accidentally sabotage our relationships with other people. Phil from Lantern is an exceptional speaker. He's got such a great way of communicating with his audiences, and he's going to be giving you some hints and tips and techniques to use advanced communication skills to kind of push those relationships onto the next level. And of course, because it's the Botanist restaurant that's hosting us, there's going to be 2 courses of really delicious food that's available. £50 plus VAT and Eventbrite fees please come along. 11:30 till 2:30, Tuesday, the 11th of October 2023. It'll be absolutely brilliant if you're able to join us. Thank you ever so much.